Hi, and welcome back to CreativeChelsey. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' products to make these cards, you can visit my online store, and the link is in the description box below. Today I'd like to share with you my second alternative project using the May 2020 paper pumpkin kit called A Kit in Color. So these are the cute cards that you can make using the supplies in the kit. And what I like to do is use these supplies plus a couple extra of my own to create alternative projects. Don't miss next month's paper pumpkin kit. It will include all the supplies to make 8 full-size cards, plus you can repurpose the cute box, place something yellow and fun inside, and gift it to someone who needs a little more sunshine. This is my alternative project that we'll be creating today. These cute shaker cards use the same extra supplies, such as cardstock and ink, plus a window sheet and something fun to shake for the inside. So let's go ahead and get started making these cards. Let's go ahead and start with this card. So for this card, we're using some of the pattern envelopes from the kit, and that's where we get this fun, soft pattern paper for the top of our card, and a little strip of that pink by our greeting. To create the window, we're using one of the squares from the Layering Squares dies, and it's about 2 3/4 inches across. So let's go ahead and start with our envelopes. So you're going to begin by removing the left and the right sides, and just trim off a small part. Go ahead and remove the white sheet. Next, we're going to cut it down. And so the width is 3 3/4. So go ahead and measure it there and cut. And you can save this for future projects. And then we're going to go at 5 inches. So just trim off the white side on one side, and then measure it to 5 inches and trim again. And that should give you right up to that white line. Next, we're going to do the same thing with the pink envelope. So just trim the sides first. Open it up, and we're actually just going to be using the top part of the envelope. So I can see the score line a little bit better on this side. So I'm just trimming right along that score line, and then I'm going to use just this top piece for that element. And I'm just going to cut it at a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to line it up and trim it. So there's a 1/2 inch strip, and then I'm just going to trim off the ends. And I want that piece to be about 3 1/2 inches in length. And you can place that to this side. Another thing we're going to do while we have our paper trimmer out, we're going to trim off the bottom section of this rainbow piece. That's going to be the background of our shaker. And I'm just going to trim that at 3/4 of an inch. And it's just the bottom. We're going to stamp our greeting on that. So place that with your card supplies, and same with this. And then we're done with our paper trimmer. So when you line up your square, you're going to make sure your left and right are even, and then compared to your sides, just a little more space at the top, or you can bring it up slightly if you want it to be even on all 3 sides. And then the majority of your space will be down here at the bottom. If you have some washi tape, you can use that Just be careful with it. You might want to try and get some of that extra stickiness off, and you can put it on your wrist or on your clothes to kind of pick up some lint. You just want it to be slightly sticky just so it holds it in place. And you can run this through your Big Shot. Okay, so go ahead and remove that square, and we're going to use this on another card. So hold on to that and place it with your other supplies. And then you can remove that washi tape. Just be really gentle as you come off that pattern paper. So for the other supplies you need for this card, you will need a purple Posy card base. Go ahead and score that fold line. You're going to line up your purple Posy pattern in the center of your card base, and then take a piece of washi tape or two and place them on the top. And we're creating kind of like a hinge so that we can flip that pattern up and we can line up the image behind it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of move my image around in that space until I have it where I want it for my shaker card. So my square is just slightly bigger, and so I'm seeing a little extra gap here, but once we have everything put together, you won't notice that. So this is where I want it, so I'm going to add another piece of washi tape near the top just to create a hinge. Then I'm going to take this and flip it and add some glue to the back. And then when that comes down, I can just smooth out that glue and then double check that everything is lining up well. And then I can remove this washi tape. So that washi tape kind of helps things stay where we want them. To create a shaker card, you need to have a background. And sometimes that background can be a stamped image, or it can be a pattern paper, or it can even be like blank cardstock. Then you'll need a window sheet to cover your hole. And so this window sheet is cut to 3 inches all the way around. And you're going to add that, and you can use any adhesive. I'm just going to use the glue dots that came in the kit. And I'm just going to place them right along that edge. I'm going to do one in the middle and one in each corner. So once you've added your adhesive, go ahead and just lay that window sheet over your opening. And your opening can be any shape. It could be a circle or label punch, a square, rectangle. Okay, so you just double check that you're still coming down and it's right exactly where you want it to be. If not, go ahead and move your washi tape and recenter it. Another thing that's really helpful to have when creating shaker cards are these foam adhesive strips. And this gives you the dimension needed for your things inside to shake and move around. So you're just going to place them on your window right across that opening. So if you have a circle, you would manipulate these to create a circle. You want to make sure there's no opening so that whatever you place inside doesn't shake out. So make sure they connect in the corners. And you don't want to place them so that they go into your window, because you don't want to see them. So just place one on each side. And then you'll want to place any along the parts of your card that won't be supported, just so it's nice and even all the way across, like so. So now we can add our elements. Before I do that, I'm going to place a ribbon because I know that I want to create a tie right here up near my window. And so I'm just going to lay a piece of the baker's twine, and this piece is probably about 17, 18 inches in length. Okay, so now I'm going to remove all the paper backing. And I want to add the iridescent sequin assortment to the top of my image. These are the things I'd like to shake around in my card. And I liked how the colors were bright and they coordinated with the purple posy and some of those pinks and yellows that are in the rainbow. So now that everything is nice and sticky and I have my elements in the shaker area, I'm just going to go ahead and close this window. Make sure all that adhesive connects strongly with both sides of the paper, and then I can carefully remove my washi tape. This envelope paper is really thin, so just be careful when removing that washi tape so that you don't pull any of that color off. And then you're going to go ahead and tie your ribbon. So this is my original design, so I want my ribbon to be here on the left side. So just pull your ends together and then pinch it down, and then you can rotate it until those everything is nice and even and where you want it. Go ahead and tie a knot. And then tie a bow. Okay. So let's go ahead and check out the shaking. So that looks like it's working really well. We don't have anything coming out and everything's moving nice and freely. So that's good. So to finish off our card, I wanted to add a piece of crushed curry cardstock. And this is just 3/4 of an inch by 3 5/8. And we're just going to add that with some adhesive. And that's going to go under my baker's twine that came in the kit. Next, I'm going to add that strip of the pink envelope that we cut. And that's just going to go, and you can put these at an angle if you want. I'm just going to put this one near the bottom so that there is an even border on the left, right, and bottom, and the majority of the space is at the top. And then we're going to grab that piece that we cut off from the rainbow, and we're going to stamp a greeting. So we're going to stamp the greeting, "Oh Happy Day." We're going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight, and if you need to create a little bit of texture on your stamp so that the ink sits better, then just use the Versamark ink. So this should fit perfectly above that stitched line. Just line it up and stamp. And then we can add this to our card, and you can either place it at an angle or straight, whatever you like. This one was done at an angle, and so I'm going to do this one straight. And you just want to place it so that a little bit of pink is poking out on the right. The last thing we're going to add are these cute embellishments that came in the kit, and you can choose any colors that you want. I'm just going to use the Just Jade color. I'm going to add that down here in the corner, as well as this pink color, which I can't remember its name, and then the Misty Moonlight. Whoop. I'm just going to use my fingers and pull those off. And I'm going to place that over here on top. Okay, so our first shaker card is done. So for our second shaker card, we're going to be using some of the same elements as the first one. We have a purple Posy card base, and then we're going to be using the purple Posy card base that came in the kit, and we're going to trim that down in the middle and then use one of the stitched rectangle dies. And this one is about 4 inches by 2 5/8 in width. And so we're going to be cutting that from the center. And then we're also using some elements from that purple Posy card. We're going to have that fun curved pattern, and we're using the medium size. And then we've got a window sheet that will cover our hole. So let's go ahead and cut this down. So you're just cutting it right in the middle at that score line, and that will be about 3.5 inches. And then just use one, and you're going to add your stitched rectangle die in the center. Just line it up on all sides so that nice and even, and then take a piece of washi tape just to keep things from moving. And then I'm going to take this to my Big Shot and cut it out. Okay, so carefully remove that washi tape and the center. We will be using this middle piece for another card, so you can just hold on to that. And then we're going to stamp around this frame. So grab your paper piercing mat, and we're going to use the happy lines that we have in the kit, and we're going to use them in a unique way. So we're going to be creating some really light texture along the edge of the card by stamping and flipping the image when we stamp. So we have it going up first, and then we'll flip it so that it goes down. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but we've done it in Versamark, and then we've used the clear embossing powder to just give it that slight texture. So go ahead and get your Versamark, and this doesn't need to be perfect because it is such a light element. We just didn't want to leave the cardstock bare. So you're just going to take your stamp and rotate it from the right side to upside down, and if you can see it, just keep moving down your frame. So I have my clear embossing powder in this tray, and I'm just going to use a little bit of it to add to that ink. And now I'm going to heat it up with my embossing tool. Okay, so there is the pattern going across the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom again, just like this, and then we'll do the sides. Okay, so there is the pattern. Let's see if it will focus. So you can see how it comes down, and you just rotate it back and forth and just squeeze in some extra rows. So to create the card, we're going to do the same thing we did with our first card. Go ahead and fold your card base, and then you're going to line up your frame and add some washi tape. Make sure it gets centered in the middle, and place some washi tape at the top on both left and right sides to create a hinge. Now you're going to add your pattern paper, and I'm having it so it swoops from the left bottom corner to the right top corner. And you're just going to place that inside wherever you'd like it to be. Make sure it doesn't poke out on either side and is centered in the middle. Then add some washi tape to create that hinge, and then glue that down with some adhesive. You can double check that everything is where you want it to be, and then smooth it out if you're using liquid adhesive. Next, we're going to add the glue dots just like before. I'm going to add a couple extra here on the longer side. Go ahead and add your window sheet. It should be just slightly bigger than your opening. Next, add your foam adhesive strips just to that outside edge. When you're ready, you can add your sequins or whatever you're going to place in your card to shake, and then remove your backing. And then go ahead and fold that down. Oh, whoop, don't do it yet. We forgot to remove this washi tape here. We don't want that in our shaker card. I'm glad I saw that. Kind of blends in. So make sure to remove that washi tape. And now you can fold that over. Make sure that it gets nice and sealed. Remove this washi tape here. Just be very careful when removing washi tape. Okay, and then you can check and make sure that shaking element is working. And then we're going to add our elements. We're going to add the medium cloud. We're going to do some stamping and some twine. I'm going to ink it with Versamark first, just so that my ink will stay and give me a good image. And then ink it with Misty Moonlight. And then stamp that on my envelope. And now I'm going to fussy cut this out. So once you're done fussy cutting that, we're going to add it to our card. So I'm going to take the twine from the kit and I'm going to wrap it around kind of the top part of my fingers 3 times. And that's just going to give me a smaller circle of twine. I'm going to place that onto my work surface. And then for this card, I had it behind the cloud, but I wanted to try it behind the greeting for this card. So I'm just going to add some adhesive and then add the greeting behind it. I'm going to tuck in those edges or those ends a little bit, and then I'm going to add it to my cloud. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive over that twine just so that it will stay in place. And I want it to kind of come off my cloud slightly. So it's the first part of You're Amazing is on my cloud, and then the second part, or the ending of that word, is off my cloud. Okay, so now I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of my cloud, and I'm going to add this to the bottom left corner of my card. The last element I'm going to add are the embellishments from the kit, and I'm going to use just the colors that are in the card, the hot pink and the purple Posy. That's going to come down in the cloud so we can see it a little bit better, and then the misty moonlight. And our card is all done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Visit CreativeChelsey.com for more information about Paper Pumpkin and to start getting your monthly kit. Have a creative day. Bye.